Hello friends, this is the Empty Nester. Welcome to my garden again today. It's kind of hard to find a dry seat in the house today, or I should say in the garden. We had a lot of rain last night and yesterday and the day before, off and on, not, you know, torrential rains. But I'm going to add this to the beginning. I've recorded, I think it was Friday, I started planting in the back, so I'm going to do the end in the beginning, because there's many different ways to plant tomatoes, and there's your way, my way, his way, her way, there's the best way, the wrong way, you name it, but you have to try different ways to grow tomatoes, because what works in my area may not work in yours. Where in St. Louis I could just dig a hole and put in a tomato and it grew. Here there's so much rain I have to do, like this is one of the raised pallets that you saw in a video before. I'll put a link to in the comments of building the raised pallet beds for free. All it cost me was the screws. After I ran out of screws I already had, and then what I'm going to do first is show you the easiest way with a raised bed, because all you have to do is get rich compost and manure and put it in the bed and plant, dig a hole and put your plant in, and that's it. If you've got a really good soil mixture and your soil in the bottom makes contact with the soil. I've seen people use cardboard, and in my first two 6-foot by 4-foot beds over there in the potato garden, I used the boxes from a big screen TV and laid them out, and it turns out there's like a plastic coating where the printing is, so there was a barrier. The cardboard was a barrier, and not many things actually grew in that garden because the compost I bought at the store didn't meet up and touch the ground and create a network of growth for the plants. For some people cardboard works, for others it don't, and for me cardboard doesn't work. If there's not enough soil in the mixture, if there is enough soil, if the soil that you're putting in here is a good balance, then it's like planting in a flower pot. And if you've got all the nutrients in this soil, then you can go ahead and lay the cardboard down and create the barrier till the cardboard breaks down. And I found that there's so much soil in this box that the only thing you really have to worry about is grass getting up through the sides, and you can just remove it. And then in spring, the new seeds come in. Every time you turn around, a tree is losing one, and you're constantly having to pick one out here and there. But it's really not an issue. But let me quit rambling on. I'm making this a long video, but it's kind of like sometimes you have a lot to say and sometimes you don't. I'm going to plant tomatoes in each of these boxes, so when I do turn this into a lean-to greenhouse, I'm going to try to save these tomatoes for next year and see how long I can get them to grow into fall. Like I said, all you do is dig a hole in the center here and cover it up, and this soil is rich in compost and cow manure, and you want to bury it deeper than you had it in the container. And for me, with all the water I have, till I get to planting something else in this box, I'm just going to put this in a hill like this. And that way when the rain hits it, it's going to just, roll off the plant. I'm also going to get straw or grass and put around here, or possibly even mulch. But for this year, till I get the soil built up as far as I want it, I'm just probably going to use grass clippings to keep the rain from splashing dirt up onto the plant where it's already got dirt from, I left these exposed. I didn't cover them last night, so the containers had a lot of water in them, and or some of the containers did. So I'm going to get this soil off the plant, and see how this one's kind of a little yellow from having too much water. I'm going to go ahead and get some Epsom salts and sprinkle on here, and that way it'll put some nitrogen back in here and make this nice and healthy and happy, hopefully. But this is opak paste. I got this from another friend named Lori. So I'll show you the varieties I have over here in just a second, and then we'll go back to Thursday where I lay everything out in the garden and plant. I hope this is interesting enough for you to watch the whole video. And I also am going to do a separate video on self-watering containers, because the giant tree tomato that I got seed from Seeds to Freedom in Australia, these are not real tomatoes. Giant tree tomato is sometimes sold as a tomato because it says tomato, but it's actually a fruit. So I'll tell you more about that in the next video that I do with container planting, self-water container planting of this tomato. Let's get on with the show and turn back time and head over to Thursday. Thanks to modern technology, it gives you a little bit more information as far as when to plant. Normally by now I'd have the tomatoes in the ground, but at night it's been, in the 40s, and by the look at this, 48 is the last, today is the last day of 48, so tomorrow night starts 57 and going up. And then if I plant tomorrow, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it'll get plenty of rain or it'll get beat to death. So you have to make a call. And then when you look at the lunar gardening calendar, today is the 5th and day for leaf, planting leaf vegetables. Tomorrow is a tomato fruit day, so it's perfect to plant tomatoes tomorrow, and then root crops after that. I'm planting. Every year I rotate the tomatoes that I'm going to plant so that I can keep my seed stock fresh or fresher, and I keep adding new varieties too, like opak paste. I've only got one of these, so I'm going to have to take all the trays and set them out around the area that they were going to be planted, and then set the cups like this one here about 1.5 feet apart. There's 4 plants here, and if you look at the cup, this is the squirrel tomato, and the squirrel tomato goes all the way down this row, and this cup here is also the squirrel tomato. So the squirrel tomato goes like this and straight down, and then in that row is Cherokee purple, and this row black crumb going all the way down that way, or HK brown. I've got 2, 4, 5 plants here that'll go in the ground. Over in this row I've got Barry's Crazy Cherry, and there's 5 left that either I'm going to find another spot for or give them away. In this row here I've got BK Black Crumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 of these are planted already. In this row I've got on the end orange Rossellini, and then 3 of the squirrel tomatoes, which maybe I'll replace with Barry's Crazy Cherry. I'm not sure, because I've got a lot of squirrel tomatoes. It's amazing how many plants turned out on that. So I've got one of the orange Rossellini in here, and one right here. It's hard to see it, and I just put dirt in the cup to keep the cup here with the name till I put a tag on the fence. Over here, what I'm doing is to keep the rows and keep the cups, I put the cups up here on the top. That way, until I get a tag for the row, I can just look on here and see it's Cherokee purple. And then I've got this is part of the existing bed over here, and then this part right here is part of the new bed. And what I've done is, because it was really hard soil, you know, I didn't till this part, but this part wasn't in good conditions, so I dug a trench with the shovel and the garden claw, and then I mixed in like 3 shovelfuls of manure. And if we were in a normal garden, I would just put it in like this and put the soil around it and then build it up as it goes, like this. Put it in right here and then put the soil around it and then leave it in a trench. But I'm covering it up to the first leaves and then bringing grass around it. Doing the same thing with this one. Since I have so much water, I have to get all the soil back in or it'll be washed off. Here's this one. Shake it loose. Set it in here. Hey, hey, Milo. He's not happy with Reba, or he's not nice to Reba. Milo. Sorry about that. He's the cat that the neighbors left behind across the street. Okay. And then since I just cut this grass today, I'm not going to put it directly on the plants because, you know, I don't want the plants to burn. I'm just going to put it in the general area to keep the weeds down. That I have, mix a little of that in each hole and then put it on top. And I'm going to rake up the area here, the path, and take this soil and mix it with the manure over there and plant the new tomato area with this soil. And then over the summer I'll continue adding grass clippings back to the walkway and building up the soil again for next year. I'm just going to take whatever comes off the top. And it doesn't look like that much, but it'll work. Normally don't till, but this area is kind of hard, so I'm going to take the garden claw and just go down the row a little. Pull off the grass part and put it out here. Take some of this. That'll be probably 2 tomatoes here, like this. Did you see how I dug 2 at one time? Okay, this is 2 holes that I'm mixing this soil up. And then all I have to do is put my plant in and cover it up. And put grass on each side of it to keep it in place. This is my favorite way to plant the tomatoes. I usually use straw bales, but I don't want to buy any more this year, so I'm going to just take grass and put it on each side. You know, pretend these are straw bales. And then what you do is take your compost. You can either make your own compost or buy store-bought. Put it in. This is a little bit of store-bought, and this is the composted manure from the wagon over there, trailer. It's still mixed with some of the compost I took out of the other bed. This way you're kind of making a raised bed without making a raised bed. Pop your plant in. Bring the soil up around it. Take this grass, which, you know, normally would be straw, and put the straw around it. That way, if it rains, none of the soil's going to pop back up onto your plant and cause blight. I've had really good luck with preventing blight like this on my tomatoes. Let me get to planting before the rain gets here. What are you guys doing? Do you think I'm gonna pull out a worm? Are you waiting for dinner? Huh? Does that tomato plant look yummy? It's not for dinner. But I'll close for now. Dusty and Parker are here and really interested in what I'm doing. So hope you all have a great day, and thanks for watching. Come here. Come on. Come on. You can come up here.